Welcome back, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey, and this is one I've been thinking about for a while because it is something we see come up in conversation, celebrity interviews, and so on. Stephen Fry famously has weighed in on this a couple of times, and it is basically the question of why does God allow illness, disease, and evil in the world? And that is a very good question, but you need only look at Genesis for the answer to that question. Before we begin, as always, please remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so that, like this video that is not on my normal schedule, you'll be notified as soon as it posts. You'll also be part of the giveaway at 500, 1,000, and 1,500 subscribers. That said, let's go on and jump in. The question is brought up, normally by non-Christians, who phrase it as, if God is all-powerful and all-knowing and good and loving, why does he allow evil in the world and disease and such? The question is basically asking, why doesn't God make the world the way I want it to be? And when you read Genesis, the world that these people are asking for was created. It was called Eden. A perfect world for man. Adam and Eve created in the image of God and told, do not eat from this one tree. And we don't know if it was an apple, an apricot, a pear, a banana. We don't know. We always say an apple just because that's what has been said for eons. It doesn't really matter what fruit it was. It was the one rule God gave them, and they broke it. Now, yes, in Genesis, Lucifer appeared as a serpent, tempted Eve, tempted her so far that she ate, and then she got Adam to eat. It doesn't matter why. It matters that they broke the rule. Now, an analogy I have used a few times is, imagine if I built a home with every luxury you could imagine: hot tub, swimming pool, workout room, games room, craft room, every kind of car you could ever want. This is on, 1,000 acres, so you can go driving and do anything and everything your heart desires. But I have one rule. And as long as you don't break that one rule, I am going to guarantee you will never age, never be sick, never experience pain of any kind. Your life will be perfect. And I tell you this from the very beginning. And you break that rule. So I evict you from the house. You are never allowed to return. And in the process of evicting, I tell you, you will experience pain. You will experience sorrow. You will no longer have this perfect life. That is the reason, because in the garden, God communed directly with Adam and Eve, and he was able to walk with them, talk with them. After they broke the rule, after they sinned, he cast them out of Eden into the wider world. It was no longer possible for God to commune with them. And they now experience pain. It specifically mentions that the pain of childbirth. We don't know exactly if they had children prior to leaving the garden or not. We know of Cain and Abel. We know that Cain killed Abel. And then we move on from there into the story of Abraham and Isaac and Ishmael and ultimately Moses and Joshua, and on and on and on through the history until the Gospels and then ultimately to Revelation. But that is exactly it. If I build you a place to live with every amenity, every luxury you could ever desire, you will never have to work. You will not feel pain. You will not get sick. You will not grow old. You will never die. Your life will be perfect in this bubble I create. And I tell you, there is one rule. Do not eat from that food source. If you do, you will die. And you do. And this was part of the lie from Lucifer. You surely will not die. And as always, in a manner of speaking, so semantics, they ate of the fruit and they did not immediately die. But ultimately they did. Ultimately both of their children did, their grandchildren, and on down the line. So that is why there is evil in the world. That is why, because we are not built to be automatons. We are not built to be robots. We are built to be thinking, independent creatures with free will. It would be very easy to block off that one food source and to say, you will not be able to eat from this tree. But then free will is gone. And I have said, you will live perfectly because I will force you to. And I know people don't like the explanation of free will. Mankind sinned, mankind fell from grace, mankind was expelled from the Garden of Eden into the world, where pain and suffering and loss, illness and disease and age and everything else was a part of life. From the very beginning, from the fall, Lucifer has known that he will not be able to dethrone the Creator. He has known that he will ultimately end up having to live separate from God for the rest of eternity. And misery loves company. Today, especially, we see people who are deceived into the, it doesn't matter if it feels good, do it. At first it was, if you're not hurting anyone else, why is it bad? Now they're actually saying, well, it feels good and it's just a sexual orientation. I'm just attracted to children. Well, what about the children you're hurting? And then they go off on one of their tirades. I'm not a theologian. I am not a biblical scholarly expert. I've read the Bible multiple times. I've studied it under theologians and scholars, and I've asked these questions. That's how I came up with this analogy of, imagine I am able to create a bubble that you can live in. It will be your world. It will be perfect. No pain, no suffering, no aging, no dying. Nothing that is not good. But there's one rule. And if you break that rule, you must leave that world for another where you will suffer pain, where you will die, where you will age. And you break the rule. That is how I understand it. I'm not here to tell you that I'm right. I'm telling you this is how I understand it. Trust me, I wish for a world with no disease, no pain, no suffering, no death, no evil, no crime. But that world is gone, has been for millennia. And it will not ever be attained on this planet again. It will only be attained in paradise at the end of days. It's just how I see it. I've talked long enough. Let me know what you think. As always, stay civil. We can have a debate, we can have a discussion, we can have a lively, spirited debate, but we need to be civil. That's how a debate works best, where we learn from each other and we are not combative, for what it's worth. As always, please remember to like and share the video to expand the conversation and expand the channel. Make sure you're subscribed with the notifications on. So again, like this video that's not on my normal schedule. You'll be notified when it posts so that you'll be able to get in early. You'll want to be subscribed because we're doing the giveaway for one book, choice of Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World, or 1984 at 500 subscribers. At 1,000, 2 of those 3. At 1,500, all 3. Until next time, stay safe, stay smart, stay healthy, and have a wonderful day.